Jane Evans, the Lasting Life Change Parenting Coach. Do you ever find yourself feeling that your child's behaviour did not match what you think you know about them and the expectations that maybe you hold about how they should be behaving, how they should be responding, how they should be doing something, not doing something? Sometimes we link it to the age that they are, and we think, oh, a 7-year-old shouldn't be doing that, and a 5-year-old should have grown out of that by now, and I think we're all good at doing this. I'm sure when I was 8 I wasn't still doing blah blah blah, and we maybe have rose tinted glasses about what we were and weren't doing, and I'm sure my parents were, and it's normal to have these expectations, but is it always helpful? So I'm just inviting you into this place of curiosity about how well expectations serve you in terms of feeling really frustrated sometimes, maybe feeling that you are getting it wrong, failing your child. If my child isn't able to behave in this way, think in this way, respond in this way, even produce schoolwork in this way to this standard, then I think sometimes when we reflect afterwards, we think, well, that must be my fault because I am raising this child. So what does it say about me and my parenting? And it can take us down a really dark rabbit hole, which is very difficult to bring ourselves back up again into happy rabbit land, or not happy, but contented rabbit land. And it can be a really, really familiar journey to go because, you're trying every day to figure this stuff out and be that calm, safe, steady presence in your child's life. And then maybe there's some situation that really, kind of triggers but I just didn't think they would do that, or, I just don't think that's acceptable. And that's about your expectations. So let's unpick this a bit. Now, the thing with expectations is they're very logical. So, we can sort of think, well, I've raised my child to, I've modelled to them what kindness is. I've modelled to them what being grateful is for things we're given, for saying thank you. I've shown that to them. We've talked about it over and over again. And then you're in a situation, maybe they get given a present somewhere. Obviously not at the moment during lockdown, but in other situations, or maybe they get sent something in the post, and grandma's on the call, and the expectation is that the child's going to say, oh, thank you, Granny, I loved my blah blah blah. And then they say something like, Granny might say, oh, did you get my whatever I sent you? And they say, I did, but I don't like it. And then, of course, as a parent, it's really normal to just feel that kind of collapse inside of you and feel shame and flick into kind of a fight-flight response from a place of shame inside of you, because it feels and sounds like your child has just been rude and disrespectful and even ungrateful to grandma who sent whatever it was. And it's very difficult in those moments to press pause inside of yourself and not be cross with your child, be ashamed of your child, feel embarrassed, and then take it out on your child. It's really, really hard. But if we rewind and we think about how children, especially children under 7, they don't really have hardly any access at all to rational, considered, reflective thinking. Children under the age of 7 generally say what they see and say authentically how they feel about something. It's quite a sophisticated next level of brain development to feel something, check yourself, realize it wouldn't be appropriate to say it straight out because you have empathy and you understand that will cause feelings in another human being, and then fake something that you don't really mean. That's pretty flipping complicated, And, you know, if we're honest as adults, sometimes we're not very good at that. You know, our partner might give us something and we haven't realised they have some big expectation about us loving whatever it is, or, you know, and we just go, oh yeah, no, that's fine. Or, okay, but I didn't really want that. I wanted the blue one instead. And boom. So when we just compress pause somehow, you know, and maybe not look too hard at Granny's face. If Granny's face is not very happy, hopefully it will be, and Granny will get that this is a child just being factual. They were disappointed with the gift. It isn't something they like, so they're just delivering that information. And, you know, it's fine off the call, so you could maybe end the call, or just change the subject, or say, oh, okay, thanks for letting us know, and then move on and talk to Granny about something else. And then later on, maybe have a little chat with the child and say, oh, you know, so I didn't realise that you were so disappointed with Granny's gift. And then have a little exploration of what's that is like for the child, because they have every right to feel disappointed. If you get given something you really don't want, and, you know, you see the package from Granny and you think, normally Granny sends something you do want, it's fine to feel those feelings. And then a little exploration of, oh yeah, I was thinking about Granny and I was wondering if she got quite excited about posting the puzzle to you, and I wonder if she had any feelings about it not being what you wanted. And then pause and allow the child to just process that. And it may be that after a short pause that they come up with something like, oh yes, maybe Granny was sad then when I, you know, or they may not be able to even make that link. So you could put that in, oh, so I wonder if she had some sad feelings because then she realised that it wasn't what you wanted and needed right now. So you deliver this really powerful lesson, and then you could maybe go on and say, yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we always tell you to tell the truth if you can possibly tell the truth. And of course, that's what you did. So yeah, it's a big bit of learning, isn't it? That sometimes when we say the real things, other people find those words hurtful. Wonder what we could do now. And they might come up with, oh, I'll send Granny a card saying I'm, you know, they don't have to say sorry because they didn't do anything wrong, but they may very well want to do something to cheer Granny up, or who knows. But it's really not about making the child feel bad for something they did that was factually true. And with an older child, you might be thinking, but an older child knows better. Well, yeah, they might do, but we all have those momentary glitches where our emotions take over, and as adults we say things that afterwards we realise, oh, that was not my most shining moment, and I probably need to go and message them back, it came out of my mouth wrong. So with an older child, again, we're not there to shame them. You know, we might with an older one just go, and maybe do we just want to thank Granny anyway? Or, you know, just kind of make light of it, but not in a shaming way, and then just have a little chat with them later. They just didn't realise. It's okay. It's never about shaming the child. It's about really being their guide and their teacher and keeping them in that space, and just not getting wedged and locked into, but I expect my child to be polite because I am. I expect my child to be grateful because I am. Because sometimes you are grateful and sometimes you are not. And even more so with children. So take care, and I really hope that that's helpful for you. Maybe watch this a couple of times and just reflect on it, because, you know, it's not click your finger stuff, learning to parent in this different way. It takes time, it takes practice. So also don't have rigid, big expectations of yourself.